Oh, hello. Welcome to a damp, showery Shropshire. Well, I had a lot to do in the garden today and haven't been able to do half of it. What I have got though is the Hynol shredder out again, because I've been cutting some branches down while it's been raining, and as you can see, spreading it on the floor to raise up the level of the mulching on here. Now I've raised it by about 2 inches, but that will gradually all rot down and just leave the wood chip and such, yeah, like this here, and it's okay. Underneath this went cardboard to start with, about 4 layers of thick cardboard, and then this was put on. I can't remember now, was it end of last year or was it beginning of this year? I think it was beginning of this year. So I'm now just topping up here. Let me show you what I've been doing. It's a laurel hedge. Now, this hedge on the other side of this wall, sandstone wall, beautiful sandstone wall. Look at those hand chisel marks. Beautiful, isn't it? Any case, back to this. All this belongs to the council, and they refuse to do anything about it. This, apparently, which goes into my front garden, also belongs to the council. They refuse to do anything about it, so what I'm doing, because it's right beside my back door, is cut it down. There is about 5 to 6 foot of growth there. So that's all being cut down flat, and that's what's being chipped. Once this starts growing again, then I'll use my long handled electric hedge trimmer to keep all that clear, and I'll just keep on at the council about all this lot here. And those 2 trees belong to the council. I love the trees, but that particular branch just there, that one is not good, and there's a couple of dead ones up there. The Americans would call them widow makers, but being the council, if they won't do anything, there's not a lot I can do. So, garden itself is looking good. Now, let me take you over here. Let's move this wire, because it's wire to the electric. So, into the greenhouse. Oh, loads more cucumbers starting to appear. I saw loads more earlier, now I can't find them. Hold on. Isn't that silly? There's a couple down there. And, oh, here's another one. And one I've just picked. There you go. Beautiful. And the tomatoes are doing really well. I've got a lot of tomatoes due to be picked in here soon. And these peppers, they may be small, but I don't mind. A change in the weather hasn't helped. But they're nearly ready. And that will be my first red one. These are bigger. These are beginning to turn red as well. Right. Oh. Do you remember the avocado? Is it sowed, planted? I don't know. But that's it there. And it is now. Yeah. It's up to, oh, it's about two and a bit foot. And a lot of nice growth. Not worried about the couple of leaves that are dying. Apparently they die off as it grows bigger. Oh, let's come back out. Now, I had a banana in a pot, so for now I've just popped it over there in a gap in the little border there. All this here has got to be cardboarded and bark put on it so that it carries on from here and makes a path around there. Radishes, that is the rhubarb I put in, my new plant, and it's going mad. Now, a bit concerned about these beetroots because they're already going to seed and they're not forming any beetroot, so am I wasting my time? Parsnips okay, the main parsnips, yeah, they're okay. Yeah, now all this area here, come the autumn, has got to be completely cleared out and sorted. It's just one big mess. And that's a banana which I've moved. I might very well plant it in there actually. Dig that out and get it planted in there. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but I would like to move that fruit bush. The birds already started eating these juvenile grapes. And it's the same on the other one over there. They've started eating the juvenile grapes already. Hello, it's raining quite a lot out there now. Welcome to a drizzly, wet North Shropshire in the UK. Have you, like me, been doing lots of harvesting? I have. And I want to preserve as much of it as possible. So the best way of doing that, I'm just going to lower this a minute, is in freezer, fridge freezer compartment, and bottling it or dry storing it. So what I'm going to do is show you what I've done in the freezer so far. So I'm going to just open the freezer up, just bring it around so you can see what I'm doing, and I'll show you. Right, first of all, potatoes. Can we freeze potatoes? Yes, of course we can. So what I tend to do is parboil them just so that they're just getting tender. That makes a lot of difference. Don't overboil them because they'll just go to mush. Just so that they're slightly tender, and then put them in a bag. I'm going to raise you down now so you're going to lose me. Okay, so put them in a bag. I put them in a nice big freezer bag. There you go, Tesco's finest. Once you parboil them, put them in a strainer, let them drain. Once they're fully drained, spread them out in the bag like that. As you can see, I've got those. Now I don't do too many in a bag. And I've got these ones. So I've got two lots here, and I just laid them out, put them in the freezer, spread out like that, wait until they froze. Make sure when you seal the bag, you seal as much air out of them as possible. Roll them up, and voila, they're back in the freezer. Peas are dead easy. Just put them on a tray in the freezer, spread out, let them freeze, bag them up. Now, I find I can make my own mushy peas with these as well. So these are these are broad beans. This is the, out of all the broad beans I had, this is the total amount of broad beans I was able to salvage. The rest just didn't grow. They stayed like the size of peas or less, or they didn't have any peas in them at all. So there you go on them. Onions. Now, spring onions. What do you do with your spring onions if they go a bit too far and you've got too many to use? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I freeze them, top and tail them, clean them off. Then again, with everything, give it a wash, put it in a colander, let it drain before you do anything else with it. But always wash it, I find, and always make sure you leave it to drain for several hours. Not too long, but say a couple of hours. Enough to come in the freezer so they don't stick together. And freeze them. And there I have mini onions. Whenever I'm doing a casserole, slow cook, and get one or two of these out, pop in, off they go. Carrots. Yes, now you're going to see my miserable store carrots. Carrots this year have been a total loss. They've either not grown, or, well, they've grown, but they've not produced any proper root, or the root's gone woody and the tops have been looking great. Even though they've been watered, they've gone to woody. So this, unfortunately, is my total amount of carrots for this year. But then again, if you're going to eat them in the next 6 months, just top and tail them, clean them off, give them a good wash, leave them to drain, put them in the freezer. Otherwise, you can blanch them, they'll last you 12 months. Cabbage. Now all my cabbages, well, you saw them. If you looked at my previous videos, you'll have seen them. They just went tall, they went leggy, didn't produce anything. My cabbages, my cauliflower, all did the same. Many people will just tear them up, put them on the compost heap. Not me. Be frugal. What I do is pick the young leaves. Wash them, drain them, same again, wash them and drain them. And then lay them in the freezer, let them freeze. And then bag them, and there you are. I've got a nice big bag of greens for the winter. Strawberries. I had a bumper crop of strawberries this year. Been eating strawberries for months. I've still got a couple out there actually. Now I want to keep some. Now I made a mistake. Followed the instructions. Wash, clean, checked them over, washed them. I didn't leave them to drain long enough. They were still slightly wet. Put them in a dish tray to freeze, and then what you normally do is take them out of there and put them, bag them. Unfortunately, because I froze them still slightly wet, they've stuck to the bottom of the dish. Not to worry. When I have visitors, I'll just get the whole thing out because there's enough for 3 of us here. Maybe 4. No, I'd say 4. Get them out, divide them up. Nice bit of cream on the top. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Onions. Now, as my onions started to get white rot, I decided, no, I don't let it go any further. There were some young onions which hadn't put on anything. These are from seed. So what I do, I picked them, chopped them, froze them. Waste not, one lot. And then rhubarb, well, rhubarb's quite simple. All I do with rhubarb is chop it, clean it, chop it, rinse it, wash it, let it drain, put it into portions, bag it, and then when I want to make a rhubarb pie, I'll get one of these out, let it fall, and I'll make a nice rhubarb crumble is what I prefer to pies. A nice rhubarb crumble. So you may say, well, there's not a lot of frozen food there. But there is, because it's only me and Bo. And for me, that's several weeks worth of vegetables, and definitely I've got what, 7 bags of rhubarb, 7 rhubarb crumbles, and there's no way I'm going to eat a rhubarb crumble in one day. So that's going to give me rhubarb crumble, cold rhubarb crumble, 3 days at least, maybe even 4. Especially if I put a bit of cream on the top of my rhubarb crumble. Yeah, I do like cream, but I don't have it all the time. I just have it as a one-off treat, maybe every rhubarb crumble. So let's see what else I've got. Go in the other fridge, and peppers. What do you do with your excess peppers? Do you bottle them? Do you preserve them? Do you make, preserve the peppers in, I don't know, whatever you want to preserve them in? Me, I do an easy thing. Once they're ready to pick, I pick them, wash them, leave them to dry. That's most important all the time, leave them to dry. And then lay them out in the freezer and let them freeze. And then when I want one, I'll just take one out, let it thaw. They don't take long to thaw. Chop it up, use it as I normally would. With tomatoes, what do you do with tomatoes? Do you just try and eat every tomato you've got, or do you preserve them? Now, do you bottle them? Do you make tomato sauce? Me, I freeze them. Now, some say, oh, it's frozen tomatoes, they're not the same when you get them out. They are sort of. Now, I find if I pick them, I wash them. I've got some, I'll show you what I'm going to do in a moment. You pick them, you clean them, wash them, and then you lay them out on a tray in the freezer, or freezer tray, whichever. Let them freeze. And then once they're froze, bag them. Now I'm going to bring the camera down because it don't show properly exactly what I've got here. So let me bring the camera down. There we go. And I freeze them. And as you can see, they're all frozen like little marbles. Now here I've got the selection of tomatoes, the slightly bigger tomatoes, and the Tom Thumb, which is the yellow, and the smaller Tom Thumb reds. So, hello, we lost the phone. Sorry about that, folks. The phone decided to faint on me. Well, we'll try again, shall we? So, here we are. Tomatoes. The yellows and the smaller reds are Tom Thumb. These are the variety I can't remember. But once they're froze, put them in a bag. Remember, as long as they're froze and they're like marbles, you can add to this bag. So you don't have to, keep putting them in little bags. You can put them in one big bag, add to the bag. Being forever frugal. Oh, bring it back. Sorry about that earlier. The phone just went and died on me, collapsed. When I make stuff, I'll normally, especially in the slow cooker, I'll cook for 2. So once I've cooked for 2, then I'll divide it in half. Now, when I cooked, therefore yesterday, unfortunately, I cooked for 1. The reason I cooked for 1 is because a couple of the ingredients I had was only enough for 1. So I thought, let's just cook for 1. But what I do get, if I put enough stock in, and what I use for stock is soup. Don't go for an expensive soup. Go for one of the cheapest soups you can buy. You're just using it for stock. You're not using it as a soup. Having said that, once you've slow cooked and you've taken out what you want. The rest of it, you could use as soup. So to do that, use it either as a stock or a soup. I get these cheap, basically takeaway containers. And if you have takeaways, then you're going to have these with your takeaways in any case. And so, give them a good wash, save them, and then put it in there. So that, to me, gives me a stock. Now, I can actually, pop this out by tipping it upside down and tapping it, and it'll come out. And then I can cut it into squares and freeze it as stock cubes. Or just cut it into whatever length I want, use that, and then put the rest back in here, put it in the freezer. So, saves me money. I don't never have to buy stock cubes, gravy, never. Why buy stuff that you don't need? Now, I'm going to take you over in a moment, or I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to show you what I do with the tomatoes. Right, so I'm going to layer you down again. Hopefully the camera won't faint on me. Lay you down again like that, and try and get you angled up so you can see. I'll make sure I move this around for you in any case. Right, so tomatoes. Now again, I've got the last of the tom thumb. This is now all the tom thumb that's going to develop. The plant I'm going to take out of the hanging baskets. Put the hanging baskets away for the year, and recycle the compost that's in them. These have been washed. They've had their tops taken off. Always make sure with your tomatoes, one thing to definitely make sure is that they're all okay. Don't matter if they're slightly underripe. I, to be honest, find that if you have a mixture of ripe and slightly underripe, it equals the flavour out, and sometimes in some meals a slightly underripe tomato gives it that extra slightly different taste, which I find quite nice. A slightly acidic, but not massively acidic, but just that slight. If you have it with peppers, tomatoes with peppers in, I don't know, whatever dish you want to have the two mixed with, then they work in good combination. A slightly underripe tomato. You can use green tomatoes, but I have read that if you use green tomatoes, you should not eat too many of them. Only a couple at the most every day, or in a day. Not about every day, but in a day. Remembering they are part of the potato family, so eating too many green tomatoes may not do you any good. I don't know. Perhaps you want to do your own research on that. The Americans like green fried tomatoes, but how many green fried tomatoes they eat, I don't know. I get a tray. Now, I don't have all these little thin trays. I have roasting trays. They do everything I want. And all I do, I get a roasting tray, drop them in, there you go, spread them out, and then what I do now, clean tea towel, I'm just going to dab over them now. Very lightly, I'm not pressing down. I'm just lightly dabbing over. Now, making sure that if you drop any, you pick them up and make sure they're still okay. But dab them over, helps to dry them off a bit. There you go, nice and dry. Open the freezer, and what I'm going to do now is drop them in the freezer. So, put them in, make sure they're spread out when you put them in. You want to freeze separately, like as if they're marbles. Done. Now they're going to last 6 months in there, like that. So that's going to take me round, what's it now? August. So we got, another 4 months to Christmas, is that? Oh, September, October, November, December. Oh my goodness me. 4 months and it'll be Christmas. 4 months and about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Now that's a frightening thought, isn't it? So that would take me through till February in tomatoes. Plenty for me there to take me through till February. I've still got loads of tomatoes in the greenhouse coming on, absolutely loads of them. And there's no way I can eat all them in one go. So there again, they will get frozen. And that will see me through mostly till maybe even through to the next harvest, for all I know. So that's that. So in a moment, we'll get on with something else. All right, well, I thought I'd just tell you about 2 challenges which I've set myself. Now, one is by Christmas, the other one is by Easter. Now, one you might say might be easier than the other. I think both are going to be fairly hard. One is definitely going to be a lot harder for me than the other. The one that's going to be a lot harder than the other one is the first challenge, which is the Christmas one. Now, I want to lose weight. Yeah. At the moment, I weigh 16. What was that? I weigh 16.8 pounds. Don't tell anyone. Now, I want to lose weight. One, that means a diet. Okay. I do like 3 meals a day, but I think I'll have to cut that down to small portions and 2 meals a day. Breakfast and dinner. Not dinner time, but dinner, tea time. Now, my feel-good weight has always been about 11 stone. No, I'm not going to try and lose, 5.5 stone in 4 months. What I'm going to try and lose is 2 stone. So every month, at the end of every month, I'm going to weigh myself, starting with the end of September. I'll weigh myself and put my weight on my chalkboard. I will let you know how I'm doing. Now, that's it. It means that in 4 months, I've got to lose 2 stone, which is half a stone per month. That should be achievable, shouldn't it? That's correct, yeah. Half a stone per month in 4 months. Yeah. Don't sound too bad when you say it quick, does it? If my maths are correct. The second challenge is also a difficult one. Do you like shopping? I must admit, I like being able to go out, and if I want to buy something, I will buy it. Now, that's about to change. I only buy stuff which I actually really need, or which goes into any of my collections I've got. I don't buy, silly frivolous things, or silly frivolous things in my mind. Put it that way. For me, they are. Now, by Easter, I want to be able to buy a camper van. Yeah, that's right, a camper van. What size, whether it's going to be a day camper or one which I can use, for a week or more at a time, I'm not sure. That's going to depend on what's available with and what finances I've got available at the time. So we'll wait and see. So that's my 2 challenges. I'll keep you updated at the end of every month, starting from the end of September, on how the 2 are progressing, and we'll hopefully go from there. So until next time, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It does help to grow the channel, and by growing the channel I can make more and better videos as time goes on. So keep safe, keep well, keep warm, and I'll catch you next time.